Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Donnelly, and I'm a Detective Sergeant with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office. I'm assigned to the Financial Crimes Unit under the Intelligence Division. Today, I'm going to give you some information, hopefully give you something that you can take back to your friends and your family, and give them a little bit of information that hopefully will minimize their chance of becoming a victim of fraud. Fraud itself has many faces. Over the United States, there are over 150 different types of fraud that are reported and investigated across the country. Some of the most common cases we see are account takeovers, card skimming, check forgeries, mortgage fraud, lottery scams, email phishing, and of course the most prevalent, financial identity fraud. I put together a list, and this is something that I've, over the years, about 8 years to be exact, with cases that I've investigated, and this is what I've compiled that had the victims taken these measures, there's a pretty good likelihood they would have minimized their chance, if not eliminated their chance, of becoming a victim of fraud. What someone needs to do if they come to us and say, what can I do to not become a victim of fraud? And we tell them that there is no sure shot way, there's no 100% guarantee, but here's what I would do. First, we would tell them to obtain a copy of their credit report. You're allowed in Georgia 2 free ones each year. Obtain a copy of credit report from Experian, TransUnion, and Experian. Review it, scrutinize it, and report any errors or anything that looks suspicious to you. After you do that, go to your website, creditkarma.com. It's a free website. It's more of a credit monitoring system, but it's free of charge and comes highly recommended from a lot of those who are involved in financial business. Once you set your account up with Credit Karma, unless you're actively seeking credit or you're co-signing for somebody, go ahead and freeze your credit. And what that does is that locks your credit down. What you do is you start off with contacting, let's say, Equifax, the one of 3 credit bureaus. Contact Equifax, tell them you would like to freeze your credit profile. What they will do is they will get your information and they will assign you a 6 to 10 character PIN number. Keep these numbers handy, secure them in a place where you know they're going to be secure. Don't put them in your purse, don't keep them in your wallet. Secure them somewhere where you keep your vital records. That's the best way to do that. After you do that, go ahead and contact your banks. Tell them you'd like to set up alerts on your bill pays. You'd like to set up to where if there's any transactions that are over $100, over $500, they will send you a text message or send you an email. That's going to give you a heads up if there's anything that you're not familiar with and it shows up until you having to wait until you get your bank statement. This is something that you'll know as soon as it takes place. So that's something you want to do. All right? Next thing that you want to do is when you're home and you're looking at your internet, if you use a router, a wireless router, ensure that it's got a password protection on it. You don't want someone to pull up in front of your house and be able to log on to the internet using your information. If they log on using your internet, they could commit fraud, and when investigators try to track backwards to find out whose internet was used to perpetrate that fraud, they're going to come knocking on your door. They're going to find you. So if you have a wireless router, password protected. If you don't know how, contact a family member or friend who is familiar with this process, or contact your internet service provider, and they'll be able to help you out. Next thing you want to do is delete any suspicious emails. If you get an email from somebody that you don't know who it is or it just doesn't look right, don't open it. Don't download anything. Just simply delete it. All right? That's something that you need to do. One other thing that you may want to do is to keep your check information from floating around out there in the world is set up online automatic bill pay. You can go online and set up the majority of your retails, your utility companies. They've got their site set up and they're secure, and you set your profile up and you can go and pay online instead of having to write out a check and put that in the mail and hope it gets to where it's going. And talking about mail, folks, please don't ever take your mail and put it out there in that mailbox the night before the mail runs and flip that flag up. Once you flip that flag up, not only are you telling the mail folks that you have mail, you're telling the bad guys that, hey, there's some mail in here that you may want. So take the time. If you can, go to the post office, drop it in those big blue mailboxes. That's the better way to do it. Then what you want to do is review all your financial statements, everything, your savings accounts, checking accounts, credit cards. Make sure there's not something that looks like it could be a hit. A lot of fraudsters, what they'll do is once they get your account information, they do a test. It'll just be a $1 transaction, a $10 transaction, and they're hoping that you'll oversee this and you'll just dismiss it. Then what they'll do then is they're going to hit it again and again, and finally they're going to hit the big one, and they're going to suck your account dry, and you're going to get a call from the bank, and they're going to ask you if you're somewhere across the nation in a coffee shop buying gift cards of $500 times 5 or 6, and that could disrupt you. What you want to do then is, take care of your elderly folks. What you want to do is, family members, they become prime victims of those who reach out and they want to, encourage them. And these guys are pretty crafty. They tell them, don't tell your family members, don't tell your friends, let this be a secret because, you've won this amount of money and let's just be a big surprise. And what they're actually doing is they're taking these people's money that they have worked all their life for and built their savings up, and it's going to be depleted in just a matter of just a few days. So if you can, when they're in the right mind and when they feel that they need to, go ahead and set up these accounts where there's 2 signatures if anything over a certain dollar amount needs to be transferred or closed out. Help out your elderly folks. All right? Then what you want to do, your children. There's nothing worse than have an 8-year-old child who's purchased 2 vehicles and has filed bankruptcy 3 times. So anybody under the age of 16, you can also freeze their credit profile and it costs you nothing. Take care of the kids as well. Freeze their credit. So in summary, I know this was kind of fast and we kind of went through everything, but if you take those steps, and remember, fraud is not 100% foolproof. It is not a guarantee. You can have the best security system, the biggest, baddest dog there is. Fraud will find a way if you leave that door open. From the time that you had your first doctor appointment, college, your first job application, credit card, and your mortgage, your information is out there in the cloud, and it's just waiting to be nabbed up. So if you lock it down and something happens and you hear about another breach of an insurance company or a retailer, and you hear that there's a breach, you can rest assured you're going to have a little bit of peace of mind that your credit was frozen, you have your Credit Karma, and you're going to feel a little bit better. So take those measures, take those steps, and hopefully it'll help you out, and I won't have to see you. Have a good afternoon.